My name is Olivia. I'm 70 years old, and this year marks the 40th anniversary of my marriage to my husband, Nicholas. Time has flown by faster than I ever imagined. Nicholas and I met in college. He was calm, gentle, and kind, qualities that attracted me to him from the very start. But back in our time, arranged marriages were the norm, so I kept my feelings for him a secret, never expecting anything more than friendship. I didn't want to burden him or risk losing our connection. During our last couple of years in college, rumors started to spread that I liked him. I quickly realized that a classmate I had confided in must have let it slip. I was anxious about how Nicholas might react if he found out. But to my surprise, shortly after, he approached me and said, "Will you go out with me?" For a moment, I thought I was dreaming. Nicholas had always been kind to everyone, so I never thought he'd notice me that way. He even added, "I don't want an arranged marriage. I want to be with you, Olivia." And that marked the beginning of our journey together. Even after we became a couple, Nicholas treated me with the same warmth and care as when we were just friends. He made me feel valued and cherished. On my birthdays, he would surprise me with thoughtful gifts, like arranging a small trip for the two of us. I often wondered if I deserved all this happiness. I realized then how wonderful it was to love and be loved by someone so deeply. We got married when we turned 30, surrounded by our college friends. It was one of the happiest days of my life, a celebration blessed by everyone we cared about. Our marriage was smooth and filled with joy. A few years later, we welcomed our son, William. He was our only child, and Nicholas and I poured all our love into raising him. I always hoped that William would grow up to be as kind and considerate as his father, and to my delight, he did. William grew up to be a gentle young man, kind to everyone around him. Even as an adult, he chose to continue living with us at home, which was rare for someone his age, as most of his peers had moved out to live independently. I often worried about his future, wondering if he would ever find someone to share his life with. But if staying with us made him happy, I was more than willing to support him. My husband always said, "It's William's choice," and so we never pressured him. William continued to live with us until he was 40. He was hardworking, and on his days off, he prioritized family time, always taking care of us. Over time, I began to think that maybe it was fine for the three of us to stay together as a family, that this peaceful life was enough. But then one day, William made an unexpected announcement. "I'm getting married." Both Nicholas and I were taken by surprise, but we were overjoyed. Nicholas congratulated him, and I couldn't help but feel a mix of happiness and curiosity. William said, "I want to build a family just like ours." Hearing that made me feel proud and hopeful for his future. Soon after, we were invited to meet his fiancée, Lily, along with her parents. The day finally arrived, and I was excited but nervous. Lily was tall and had a cool, composed demeanor. Her parents, on the other hand, were warm and friendly, greeting us with smiles. I thought we could all get along well, but then something unexpected happened. During the introductions, Lily said, "William's parents are like grandparents, huh?" Her parents quickly scolded her, but the words were already out there. I was taken aback by her comment about our age. It felt disrespectful, especially coming from someone we had just met. I tried to brush it off, but it left an impression on me. After the wedding, William and Lily moved into an apartment together. I felt a pang of loneliness when William left, but I reminded myself that this was his happiness and I needed to support it. Nicholas, ever the optimist, said, "Let's give them their space and be happy for them." So we adjusted to our new life, just the two of us again. But not long after, things began to change. William started visiting us frequently. At first, it was once a week, and then gradually it became 2 or 3 times a week. He often brought food and helped around the house, which warmed my heart. I was glad to see him, and it was comforting to know that he still cared about us deeply. Eventually, Lily started coming along with him. William said, "She's family now, and I want her to get along with you, Mom and Dad." Nicholas welcomed her warmly, but I found it hard to shake off the first impression she had left on me. Still, I tried my best to make her feel comfortable. Despite my efforts, Lily's attitude remained difficult. One day, as they entered the house, Lily wrinkled her nose and said, "You, it's dirty." I had cleaned the house thoroughly that morning, and hearing her say that stung. She continued, "William's house is always dirty, probably because you're so old." I was shocked. The house may have aged, but it was the home we built with love and care over 40 years ago. Nicholas didn't seem bothered, but I couldn't help but feel disrespected. Over time, Lily's behavior only worsened. She often treated me like a servant, complaining about the food I made or asking me to redo things multiple times. "This coffee is terrible," she once said, making me replace it 5 times until she was satisfied. Not once did she thank me. I started to feel like an outsider in my own home. My husband and son, who both seemed oblivious, never stepped in to support me. It was frustrating, but I endured it for the sake of keeping peace. One day, Lily began sharing stories about her family. She talked about being the middle of 3 sisters and how her parents always doted on her older and younger sisters. She was visibly upset, and William tried to comfort her. I tried to be supportive too, saying, "I'm sure your parents love you just as much as your sisters." But instead of appreciating my words, Lily snapped at me. "I didn't ask for your opinion. Just be quiet." I was stunned. She never addressed me by my name, always just you. And now she had dismissed me entirely. I felt like I was nothing more than an inconvenience to her. Their visits became more frequent, eventually turning into weekend stays. Despite the way Lily treated me, my son and husband continued to act as if everything was normal. They laughed off her remarks, ignoring the strain it put on me. For the first time, I found myself angry with Nicholas and William. They were too kind, and their kindness was being taken advantage of. My resentment towards Lily grew, and I struggled to see a way out. One day, we received unexpected news. Lily was pregnant. Nicholas was overjoyed at the prospect of becoming a grandfather. He often stopped by the baby section in stores to pick out gifts, and I accompanied him, though I couldn't muster the same excitement. I worried about what kind of environment this child would be raised in, and I silently hoped for the best. A few months later, without any prior notice, William and Lily showed up at our house with bags of luggage. "We're staying here for a while. It's better for Lily, as she's close to giving birth," William explained. I was taken aback but nodded, trying to hide my unease. That day, I prepared a special meal for Lily, wanting to make her comfortable. But as soon as she took a bite, she spat it out, exclaiming, "What's this awful food? Don't stress out a pregnant woman." I was stunned. I had done my best, considering her condition, and yet it wasn't enough. Just as I was about to apologize, Nicholas stood up. My usually gentle and kind husband looked at Lily with an expression I had never seen before. He took the plate away and said, "Never come back here again." Lily froze, her face pale with shock. "Excuse me?" she stammered, but Nicholas was firm. "I will not tolerate anyone who disrespects my wife," he said. For the first time, Lily seemed lost for words. I watched as her confidence crumbled. Just then, the doorbell rang. I hurried to open it and found Lily's parents standing there. "We're sorry for the sudden visit," they said, looking visibly distressed. They explained that they hadn't heard from Lily in months and were worried. I invited them in, and they were shocked to find out about Lily's behavior. "We're taking responsibility for her actions," her father said. He looked at Lily, who was still in disbelief. "You need to leave this house," I said firmly. Lily tried to resist, saying, "I'm already married. This is my home too." But her parents weren't having it. They pulled out a small recording device, playing back a conversation between Lily and a friend. In the recording, Lily mocked our family, calling us useless, and talking about how she planned to use the baby as leverage for alimony after a divorce. I was speechless, as were Nicholas and William. Her parents looked at her with disappointment. "You really underestimated our family," I said, looking at Lily as she struggled to keep her composure. Her father stepped forward and said, "Let's go, Lily." It's over. Lily's confident demeanor was gone, replaced with fear and regret. She pleaded, "Please, Olivia, give me another chance." But I couldn't bring myself to forgive her. My husband, usually calm, also spoke up. "Get out. You disrespected my wife and took advantage of my family's kindness. There's no place for you here anymore." Lily's parents led her out of the house, and I felt a strange mix of relief and exhaustion. I collapsed into a chair, tears streaming down my face. The tension that had built up over the years finally released. Nicholas and William apologized to me later. They admitted that they had been afraid of standing up to Lily, fearing her retaliation. They had failed to protect me, and they promised never to let that happen again. The divorce process was difficult, but in the end, William was granted custody of the baby. I felt sorry for the child, but I knew it was for the best. My first grandchild resembled William, and every time I saw the baby smile, I was reminded of my son's kindness. It gave me hope that we could move forward as a family. Nicholas, William, the baby, and I started a new chapter. A peaceful life, free from the turmoil that had weighed us down for so long. I've come to realize just how much I value the simple moments spent with my family. Watching my grandchild grow, sharing quiet afternoons with Nicholas, and seeing William finally at peace has brought a sense of fulfillment I had almost forgotten. Life may have its challenges, but as long as we have each other, I know we'll be okay. Today, I look forward to the future, hopeful and grateful for the love that binds us together.